Hi. I am, well, I'm just Greg tonight. Just Greg. Just Greg, yeah. Yeah, so this is the pre-post, that was Ken, otherwise known as Mr. the Hat. Pre-post Star Wars, travel segment of our journey. That's basically it. Anyone else want to say anything while we're here?
Hello. And goodbye.
How about you?
Jeremy. Sorry.
You want to say a few words?
I don't know. Just
Go ahead.
Well, first time watching the movie, I guess, tonight.
Well, it's not your first time ever watching a movie.
Yeah, well,
People on that.
you just gotta feel awesome to see this movie.
Right. So, this is my brother. He saw Star Wars movies when he was super little, but just this week he watched episodes 4, 5, and 6 for the first time since having a more or less adult brain. So, this is kind of cool.
Well, I don't know what to say next, but it's
Okay, what do you think of the past two trilogies?
well,
He's never seen the prequels.
well, I have.
I guess it's time.
I just didn't care for them.
Actually made the copy better.
Yeah.
It's still recording.
Keep going.
So yeah, like I saw episode 1, 2, and 3.
And what did you think of them?
Sexy.
I'm not really crazy about the prequels, if you know what I mean. But
Somehow they're retcons now?
what?
Sorry, somehow they're retcon now for some reason.
The prequels, no, just the extended universe is right.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh. Good.
Yeah. Well, I'm not that much of a vlogger, so.
I'm eating, that's why I sound all muffled. Okay, my history of Star Wars is that I saw Return of the Jedi back in the day, when it came out. I liked it. I was raised with this 20 films. One of them was Empire Strikes Back. The last half, not the first half.
Right. Yeah.
Well, because my brother recorded over.
recorded, yeah.
He was recorded over. My brother Anthony recorded over the first half of Empire, but this is the first time he ever did this.
Yeah.
So after that, he just stopped caring. But when he did that, he actually asked me, "Greg, I'm going to record over the first half of Star Wars, and I'm going to record Johnny Dangerously on it." I said, "Fine." But then after that, he didn't care, and just started to record over all our old stuff because he wanted to.
Yeah. So we also recorded them whenever they were on TV. So in my brain, a very important part of the first appearance of the Rancor is that it cuts to a commercial and it says, "There are bras that fit and there are bras that flatter." And then it skips out because you're trying to skip the commercials and you see some shipping containers and then Rancor shows up. That's Star Wars for me.
Which one's Rancor? Which one's Rancor?
It's the monster under Jabba's dance floor.
Oh, the pet. I didn't know it was called that.
Yeah,
All I
it's
know
the
it was
Rancor.
just the pet.
Yeah, that was always my favorite. We have an unpainted plastic model of that I built when I was a kid somewhere, and yeah, Rancor's a good one. I always empathized with the guy who cried when Rancor died.
I did too. Yeah. It's like, oh, that's such a touching moment. Like, this thing must have been his pet. It's like he
Right,
must have cared
he was the
for it.
caretaker.
Yeah.
Probably didn't have much other purpose in his life.
Well, probably once I saw Return in theaters, it was 84, 86?
Something like that. Something happened in '83, and then something happened another year.
Yeah. So I most likely saw
Return of the Jedi.
Return of the Jedi in theaters, and then basically nothing pretty much all throughout the 90s.
Yeah, as a very, very young kid. Very young kid.
Oh, yeah.
I do remember anticipating Return of the Jedi because there were Star Wars Legos for the first time.
Well, my early 90s, this must be retcon too, because in the 90s, 91, 92, 93-ish, when I was in elementary school, we would see people bring in, or teachers would bring in those videos, about like, I don't know, just minor stuff, some weird stuff. School was weird.
Okay, so far you've explained that teachers brought weird stuff into school.
Yes. Movies, and one of them was
Ewok Adventure. Second one?
Yeah, well, it was the one where the sister's on her own. That'd be the second one.
That's the second one.
Second one, yeah.
I have the power. Yeah, that one.
One with the magic.
Yeah.
Apparently,
right.
there's magic on Endor, right?
Yeah, the sanctuary moon of Endor.
Endor, yeah. So I saw this thing. It's like, why does this look so familiar? Hey, wait a minute, that's Wicked. Like, what's he doing here? And who are all these people? And why does this kid look like a 14-year-old Luke for? It's like, is that Luke? Is that Luke's kid? No, the dad doesn't look anything like Luke.
Right,
so it's okay, I don't understand what is going on. Who are these people?
Yeah.
And it goes this whole thing, and they never reference anything outside of the planet. So it's like, is this supposed to be canon? And I doubt it is now. But
I don't think it ever was. Like, do you think Star Wars Christmas was ever canon?
oh,
That was. Do you think Star Wars Comedy Night Show was ever canon? No, of course not.
That was just poorly executed. I saw that thing, and I agree with all the critics. Two of them I saw, which was Nostalgia Critic and Cinema Snob, that this movie is just... It was an ambitious plan that somehow, I guess, with like a lot of plans, it's like it was better on paper or in your head than it actually is.
Yeah,
how it came about.
No, it wasn't. They were just wrong. I think... Star Wars Christmas. So, science fiction variety comedy hour with cameos, it just couldn't hold water. It was pre-nerd culture as broadly celebrated. And of course that would have meant that you wouldn't have helped but have Spider-Man references or something silly like that. But there's, the people in it kind of conflated Star Wars with all other science fiction at the same time, even though they were in this movie. There were moments, like the whole, bar closing down and making a sad song about it, which is a super weird thing to do at a Star Wars Christmas thing. Life Day was their holiday, right?
Oh, yeah.
I haven't seen it in ages. I did like the chef.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like the what? Three arms or four arms?
4 arms.
Four arms. Or rather, and that was the daughter from Golden Girls, Dorothy, wasn't it?
The chef?
The chef, wasn't it?
I
can't remember.
That or it was what's his face Cameron from the Carol Burnett show.
Vicki Lawrence?
No, Harper Corman.
Oh. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna look this up.
So, although Star Wars Christmas, they did two things right. One, they brought back the entire principal cast, and it was the first showing of Boba Fett. And the first showing of Boba Fett.
What was the first showing of Boba Fett? I didn't catch the first part.
The part where he showed up in the animatic in the cartoon segment.
Okay, what is the subject of this sentence that you're saying?
That it was really cool introduction for Boba Fett before the movies.
What was the thing?
What do you mean? What was the thing?
What's the thing you're talking about?
That it did it right. It
No.
introduced it.
You said that.
Yes.
I missed the very beginning. So what is the subject we're talking about?
Oh,
What is the thing that was cool because it showed Boba Fett?
what was the thing?
That was cool because it showed Boba Fett. What are we talking about?
That Star Wars Christmas did two things right. Only two things right.
So Star Wars Christmas introduced Boba Fett.
Hmm?
Okay. Got it.
And introduced him properly in a decent narrative storyline as a short cartoon can, which is decent. I liked it.
Okay.
And just
Interesting.
it was good.
So you actually like a more fleshed out Boba Fett?
I like the backstory they created in the prequels. Yes, it was showing like where he came from.
I mean, that was cute. Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I think what's cool about Boba Fett, and what's cool about IG-88, what's cool about all the dead things that are just lying around on Tatooine, is that you don't really know. Right? Okay, so what's cool about Jabba is that despite the fact that he's not really important to the overall story, is pretty much just part of Han Solo's story, is that Jabba has exception. Jabba knows Jedi better than the people of today do in the movies. And actually, the Star all 6 of them are full of that stuff. There's a bunch of characters that are exceptions to the standard rules in each episode. But they weren't as cool in the prequels. I think because we only had room for so many exceptions. Right? But yeah, Boba Fett was cool, even though he does absolutely nothing. Except for be sneaky. And he's the only sneaky character. And he pulls it off. He's sneaky. It works.
And he had like what, 2 lines and like what,
Yeah.
2 movies?
But, I mean,
over the course of 2 movies?
But we assume that he's cool because Han Solo and Darth Vader both respect him in different ways.
Oh yeah.
And if somebody's respected by both Han Solo and Darth Vader, he must be cool.
Yeah, I mean, Darth pulls this guy in, no question. Doesn't give any credentials. He just says, "Yeah, he's with me." That's it.
Yeah.
Well, he implies
No disintegration. They've done this before.
no disintegration. And what Darth says goes. Of course, that kind of depends whether before or after he crushes your larynx and spinal column.
Yeah, but that's what's cool about Grand Moff Tarkin, right? Is that you don't know how cool it is until you've seen all 3 of them. Here's a guy who bosses Darth Vader around and isn't the Emperor.
Of course, all this stuff is few and far in between. So you get a good couple of years of wondering what's going on before something as relatively minor as Ewok Adventure and Star Wars Christmas Special do come about. You know, it kind of just sneaks up on you. It's like, and now we have the new film. We have the final movie in the trilogy. But wait, there's more.
Right.
We have the prequels, which were an impressive endeavor to do, I must say. But to do it consecutively like that is incredibly draining. And that's why the lightsaber fights with each progressing episode drops, is because all the energy is being sucked out of it because, well, you're doing this back to back to back.
Interesting way. What do you mean the lightsaber fights, the energy drops?
The intensity. If you watch the fight between Darth Maul and the long-haired guy, Qui-Gon Jinn, it's a very good fight.
It's a highly dramatic fight, right?
Yeah.
As opposed to the for-show combat between, like, Dooku and Yoda and Dooku and everyone else. But that's between a CG character and an old man whose head has been put on a CG stunt double. So it's not going to be a super... I think that's why there's less energy in those fights.
But then in the third film, suddenly I'm not taking anybody's lightsaber fights seriously because it looks like they've been shooting this for hours and then they took the last cut of those fights. It's like, where's the energy?
You feel that way about Obi-Wan versus Anakin also?
No, that's the one that actually felt like they're actually trying.
But I think that's the only one where there's 2 relatively young people actually playing those parts.
Yes.
So my feeling is that that's just because they're humans and not CG.
True, it is that. Because it's like, we got enough CG. That's why they're going back with practical effects now.
Well, no, there's plenty of room for CG. In fact, the Star Wars prequels, that's how we got to where we are now. I mean, I actually don't even like Avatar very much, but we wouldn't have had Avatar without those movies. They accelerated the development of CG and CG lighting, CG camera work for
At least it did something
movies.
right. I personally do not like Avatar.